So experience is inescapable, and yet we can choose where we place our attention. Like we can choose to focus on this beautiful orchid in this room. We can choose to place our attention on that, and yet a few moments ago that wasn't even noticed. Because the focus was on this communication between us. So our experience changes depending on where we place our attention.
Who or what is shifting our attention?
That's a very good question.
I haven't heard that.
Something that is not a thing appears to be experiencing everything that is here. And yet, when a thought appears to be the focus that seems to place attention in a certain way in the experience, as the experience.
Oh, okay. So you're saying a thought that is not a thing? Is that what you said?
Well, if we look at this directly, can we actually find a thought? And yet a thought seems to appear that grabs attention manfully. And a story is created around that thought, which seems to give meaning to the experience, which seems to colour and translate and attempt to understand what is being experienced, which seems to cause a distortion.
Distortion or the shift in the lens or the...
Yeah, based on what we believe that to mean, based on what we've learned from memory.
Well, I guess I was wondering there's some way we are able to shift our awareness around. Like I can shift my awareness to the outside of the room or behind me. But what is doing that?
Well, that's a very good question.
Oh, that's the good question. We don't really know, or does it matter? Maybe it doesn't matter.
The fact that we can shift our attention and we can place awareness in any place is actually already seen. Something knows that there is attention being moved, seemingly. So what is that? Can we find that? Can that be located anywhere? Can that be known directly?
So something is moving attention, but there's also something that's aware that attention is moving.
Yes. So there is something beyond, while not being separate from that which is moving attention. And that's what's being pointed to here. That whatever appears is seen. Wherever attention is placed is seen, is experienced, is inseparable from that which is experiencing it. Can we find the experiencer?
I think the right answer is no.
But without going to the mind in our direct experience now, can we find the experiencer? There is awareness and there is experience. Without awareness, no experience. Awareness is just a word that points to something which isn't a thing, that is undeniably present and yet cannot be known or located.
So what I do is I stop confusing myself with thinking that I know what that is, or what that even could be.
Coming from a place of pure not knowing. Where is the experience of us sitting in the other room a few short moments ago, talking, drinking coffee. Where is that now?
Well, there's a memory of the experience.
Can we find a memory? If we look, we can recall that experience with thought.
Okay.
And that thought is appearing now. Can we find thought? Can we find the experience? All there is this, presence.
Uh-huh.
And this experience.
So whenever I look for those things, I can never find them.
Even now in direct experience, can we find, without using memory, can we find ourselves? Can we describe ourselves?
Well, I feel a heart beating.
Is it a heart beating? Or is that a learnt idea? Is there just sensation, which is just a word?
Yeah, there's a sensation, or I would call it a pulsing in the field.
So there's just energy, we can call it that.
Right.
There is just experience happening without a cause, and something that is inseparable from experience sees and experiences that, is seamlessly one with that. And can we find that which is experiencing? If we really look closely.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm not finding it.
In any moment, we can drop descriptions of the mind, and we can simply recognize that something is experiencing, something that isn't a thing is experiencing.
Uh-huh.
In any given moment, there is experience. And there is something that knows experience, something intimately experiencing that can't be separated from experience, that knows experience, that is experience. All pervasive and yet unlocatable. Unknowable. If we can step back into that, which isn't a doing, it's really the absence of all doing.
Step back into the knowing?
Into the not knowing, we could say.
Okay.
Even if thought appears to be moving.
Uh-huh.
To recognize that that is simply experiencing. We don't have to latch onto that. We don't have to believe that. We can simply allow it to be as it already is, with no labeling, Just allowing what is already allowed, what is already the case, to be as it is, without interpreting, without translating what we think that experience means to the idea we have about who we are.
Without relating that to the idea of who we think we are?
Yes.
Okay. Right, there's something that keeps wanting to come back and do something with it. Or
Yeah, and just simply allow that. Because it's already allowed. Allow it to be as it is. Even the struggle, the resistance, the striving to understand. We can just allow even that.
Right, it is like all of that's happening after this. Not that maybe.
We could put it like that.
Right, okay.
But it is inseparable from this. Can we separate that from this? It's like trying to take blue out of the sky or salt out of the sea. Because it's just this. It's pure experiencing. And something that is nothing intimately knows that experiencing. It is itself.
Mm-hmm. So right now it seems like there's like a vast openness or peacefulness.
Tangible, right?
Yeah, tangible. Yeah.
And yet intangible.
Palpable, kind of.
Yeah, experientially. But can we find
Right.
that?
No. And the question is, where did it come from? And the answer
Did
is
it-
it's always been here.
Did it come from anywhere, or is it simply always the case? Unmovable. Is it coming from anywhere? Is it going anywhere?
No.
What is it? Where is it? Who knows the answer? Who wants to know?
Well, that's one of the things I'm kind of struggling with is it's like there's nothing that even wants to know. Like to carry on. Yeah. And it's kind of like nothing seems all that important. So